How to Safely Divorce from an Abusive Husband, a comprehensive strategic guide. Leaving an abusive marriage is fundamentally different from a standard divorce. When an abusive relationship dissolves, it is not merely a legal or emotional restructuring, it is a critical safety operation. Research into domestic dynamics consistently demonstrates that the period immediately preceding and following a survivor's departure is statistically the most volatile and dangerous window of time. For an abuser, a wife initiating a divorce represents an absolute loss of control, an offense that frequently triggers an escalation from psychological intimidation to physical retaliation or severe financial sabotage. Therefore, executing a divorce from an abusive spouse requires a shift in approach. You must move away from standard legal assumptions and adopt a highly calculated, secure strategy. This comprehensive guide outlines the exact multi-layered protocols required to safely extract yourself, protect your children, preserve your financial independence, and navigate the family court system when divorcing a malicious, controlling, or abusive husband. Chapter 1. The Psychological Infrastructure, Accepting the Reality of the Abuser. The foundational step in safely divorcing an abuser occurs within your own mind. It requires stripping away any lingering expectations of fairness, closure, or mutual respect. A standard divorce often involves two parties who, despite their differences, can eventually reach compromise out of a shared desire to move forward. An abuser does not operate under this framework. To him, the divorce proceedings are an extension of the battlefield, a vehicle to punish your defiance, bankrupt your resources, and reassert his dominance. Accepting this reality means abandoning the urge to explain your feelings, negotiate in good faith, or warn him about your intentions. Any advance notice given to an abuser will simply grant him a tactical advantage, allowing him to hide marital assets, manipulate social circles, or escalate behavioral control. From this moment onward, you must view the relationship through a lens of absolute operational security. Your communication must shift from emotional dialogue to disciplined, documented business interaction. You're no longer trying to make him understand your perspective. You are systematically building a legal and physical perimeter around your life. Chapter 2. The Digital and Physical Security Perimeter, Establishing Total Isolation. Before a single legal document is drafted or filed, you must establish an airtight security perimeter across your digital and physical architecture. Modern abusers routinely utilize spyware, location tracking software, and shared accounts to monitor their spouses. If your husband discovers your intent to divorce through a compromised device, your safety window collapses instantly. First, secure your digital assets completely. Assume that any device connected to the shared home network or a family cell phone plan is compromised. Purchase a low-cost, prepaid burner phone using cash and keep it hidden outside the home or with a trusted confidant. Use this secure device to communicate exclusively with legal counsel, domestic violence advocates, and your trusted inner circle. Change every password to your personal emails, banking portals, and social media platforms. Avoid using obvious variations of old passwords or easily guessable security questions. Create entirely new, secure email accounts designated solely for legal correspondence, and ensure that two-factor authentication is routed strictly to your hidden burner phone. Furthermore, disable all location sharing features across your primary devices, cloud storage, and applications. Second, perform a physical audit of your routine. Abusers are creatures of habit who track anomalies in your behavior. Maintain your normal daily schedule precisely while you build your exit strategy behind the scenes. If you need to visit an attorney or a new banking branch, do so during hours you are normally unaccounted for, such as a lunch break, ensuring you leave no physical receipts, pamphlets, or search histories on shared computers. Chapter 3. The Shadow Cache, Securing Critical Documentation and Financial Assets. An abuser's secondary weapon of control is financial starvation. It is standard practice for a controlling husband to freeze joint bank accounts, cancel credit cards, and terminate access to household funds the moment he is served with divorce papers, attempting to starve you into submission or prevent you from paying legal retainers. To mitigate this risk, You must quietly compile a shadow cache of essential documents and liquid capital. Begin by gathering certified copies or clear digital photographs of every vital document belonging to you, your husband, and your children. Store these files on a secure, password-protected cloud drive or physical thumb drive hidden completely outside the marital residence. This documentation checklist includes asterisk birth certificates, marriage certificates, and passports, asterisk social security cards and immigration or residency paperwork, asterisk tax returns from the past 3 to 5 years, including W-2s, 1099s, and corporate filings if he owns a business, asterisk statements for all checking, savings, investment, and retirement accounts, asterisk deeds, titles, and mortgage statements for real estate and vehicles, asterisk insurance policies, health, life, and auto, asterisk a detailed inventory of high-value marital assets, including jewelry, art, or collectibles. Simultaneously, you must establish financial autonomy. Open a brand new checking and savings account at an entirely different banking institution than the one your husband uses. Request that all statements be delivered electronically to your hidden, secure email address. Quietly and consistently divert small amounts of liquid cash into this account over time. If you work, consider redirecting a portion of your paycheck or any bonuses into this separate account. Having an independent pool of cash ensures that when the transition occurs, you possess the immediate liquidity required to secure housing, buy groceries, and retain an aggressive family law attorney. Chapter 4. Designing the Escape Vector, the Comprehensive Safety Plan. Leaving the marital home is the pivot point of the entire operation. It must be executed with precision, preferably when your husband is guaranteed to be away from the property for an extended period, such as during a business trip or a full work shift. Never attempt a spontaneous exit during an active argument, as this is when physical violence peaks. Your escape plan must include a designated, secure destination. This could be a trusted friend or relative's home whose address is unknown to your husband, a leased apartment secured under a non-disclosure or confidentiality program, or a reputable domestic violence shelter. If you have children, they must be integrated into this plan seamlessly, ensuring they are picked up from school or daycare directly along your escape vector, preventing your husband from using them as immediate leverage or intercepting them. Pack an emergency go bag and store it outside home, perhaps in the trunk of your car, at your workplace, or at a neighbor's house. This bag must contain your essential documentation drive, a multi-day supply of prescription medications for you and your children, basic clothing, the hidden burner phone, and your accumulated cash reserves. On the day of your departure, once you have arrived safely at your secure location, immediately execute the next phase of your protection protocol. Do not answer his calls, texts, or emails. Any immediate communication regarding your departure or your location will only compromise your safety. Let your legal team handle the initial contact. Chapter 5. The Legal Shield, Choosing Counsel and Seeking Orders of Protection. Once you are physically secure, you must immediately erect a legal fortress around yourself. The first step is retaining a family law attorney who specializes explicitly in domestic violence, coercive control, and high-conflict divorces. Avoid general practitioners or transactional lawyers who favor amicable mediation. You require a litigator who understands that mediation with an abuser is a structural impossibility due to the severe power imbalance, and who is prepared to advocate aggressively for your safety in a courtroom. Inform your attorney of the full scope of the abuse, providing them with a chronological timeline of events, police reports, medical records, and any abusive text messages or voicemails you have preserved. Your legal team will immediately evaluate the necessity of a temporary restraining order, TRO, or an order of protection. An order of protection is a vital legal mechanism that can explicitly prohibit your husband from coming within a certain distance of you, your children, your home, your workplace, and your children's schools. It can also grant you temporary, exclusive possession of the marital home, forcing him to vacate under law enforcement supervision and award you temporary custody of the children. While a restraining order is historically a piece of paper that an absolute criminal may choose to violate, it serves a critical dual purpose. It creates an immediate criminal threshold for law enforcement to arrest him if he approaches you, and it establishes a powerful, undeniable record of abuse within the family court system, dictating the terms of asset distribution and custody from the very beginning. Chapter 6. Navigating the Family Court, Defeating the DARVO Tactics. When an abuser enters a courtroom, his primary strategy is almost always DARVO: deny the abuse, attack the victim, and reverse the victim and offender roles. He will present himself to the judge as a calm, rational, deeply concerned father and husband, while framing you as unstable, vindictive, or parental alienating. To defeat this tactic, you must rely entirely on objective, cold evidentiary standards. Judges see hundreds of emotional accusations daily. They rule based on verifiable proof. This is where your meticulous documentation becomes the deciding factor in your case. Asterisk the communication log asterisk. Keep every text message, email, and voicemail sent by your husband. Do not edit, delete, or respond to provocative messages. Organize them chronologically in a binder, highlighting threats, admissions of control, or instances of harassment. Asterisk the incident diary asterisk. Maintain a precise, unemotional journal detailing dates, times, descriptions of abusive behavior, and the presence of any witnesses. Asterisk third-party verification asterisk. Subpoena medical records, police call logs, photographs of injuries or property damage, and statements from therapists, teachers, or social workers who have witnessed the behavioral patterns or the psychological impact on your children. When testifying or appearing in court, maintain an absolute, professional composure. The abuser will intentionally attempt to trigger you during depositions or hearings to make you look hysterical in front of the judge. Anticipate this. Let his outbursts and lies fall completely flat against your calm, collected, and evidence-backed presentation. Chapter 7. Rebuilding Sovereignty, Long-Term Healing and Fortification. Securing the final divorce decree and permanent custody orders is a monumental victory, but the process of recovery continues long after the legal ink dries. True safety is a continuous process of rebuilding your mental, emotional, and physical sovereignty. Establish a zero-contact or controlled contact protocol. If you share children and must communicate regarding visitation, utilize a court-ordered, monitored co-parenting application like Our Family Wizard or Talking Parents. These platforms archive every interaction directly for judicial review, preventing the abuser from slipping insults, threats, or manipulation into logistical conversations. Never text or speak on the phone. Keep all boundaries entirely locked within the monitored app. Enlist the support of a trauma-informed therapist who understands the specific mechanics of narcissistic abuse and complex post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD. Surround yourself with a dedicated micro-community of friends, family, and support groups who validate your journey and reinforce your boundaries. Conclusion: from survivor to sovereign architect, divorcing an abusive husband is an act of profound bravery and tactical execution. It requires you to step out of the fog of chronic fear and operate with the cold, deliberate precision of a strategic planner. By securing your digital footprint, building a financial baseline in the shadows, crafting a flawless physical escape vector, and leveraging the full weight of the legal system with irrefutable evidence, you can successfully break the chains of control. Remember, you are not merely escaping a destructive past. You are actively, step by step, drafting the blueprint for your future. The storm will be fierce, but your strategy is unshakable. You possess the inherent power, intelligence, and sovereignty to reclaim your life, protect your peace, and step forward into a world entirely of your own design.